The cargo ship touched down on Helios 7 with a gentle thud. Day 1 stretched his arms above his head and yawned. Another delivery complete. Another day of flying through empty space. He grabbed his jacket and headed toward the station's entrance. Helios 7 was always busy. Aliens from every corner of the galaxy came here to trade. Some had scales, some had tentacles, some were just floating clouds of gas. Daiwan had stopped being surprised by weird aliens years ago. Now he just wanted a drink and some food. The cantina was packed. Music from 6 different planets played at once, creating a strange noise that somehow worked. Daiwan found an empty spot at the bar and sat down. The bartender was a large creature with 4 arms and purple skin. "What can I get you?" the bartender asked in the common trade language. "Something strong," Daiwan said. "And hot. I mean temperature hot, not spicy hot. Though spicy would be nice too." The bartender made a gurgling sound that might have been a laugh. Humans and their love of burning their mouths. "I will never understand," Daiwan grinned. "It's what makes life interesting." While he waited, 2 aliens at a nearby table caught his attention. One looked like a giant praying mantis with green armor plating. The other was bluish and wet like a walking fish. They were speaking loudly, clearly wanting others to hear. "I am telling you, Rix, humans are the weakest species in the galaxy," the mantis alien said. His name was Velthor, according to the badge on his chest. "They cannot breathe most atmospheres. Their skin tears easily. They die if the temperature changes too much." "They are quite fragile," Rix agreed, his voice bubbling. "I heard one of them got sick from eating food that sat out for just a few hours." "A few hours? My species can eat meat that has been dead for weeks." Velthor clicked his mandibles together. "They also cannot tolerate any real toxins. Their bodies shut down from the smallest amount of poison." It is pathetic, really. Daiwan tried to ignore them. He had heard this kind of talk before. Many aliens thought humans were weak because they needed such specific conditions to survive. In some ways, they were right. Humans did need more careful environments than many species. But there were things about humans that these aliens did not understand. The bartender brought his drink. It was warm and smelled like earth coffee mixed with something floral. Daiwan took a sip. "Not bad." "Excuse me, human," Velthor called out. "Yes, you at the bar. Come join us." Daiwan considered ignoring him, but he was bored, and sometimes these conversations ended up being funny. He picked up his drink and walked over. Sit, Velthor said, gesturing with one of his blade-like arms. "We were just discussing your species. Tell me, is it true that humans cannot drink water from most planets without getting sick?" "That's true," Daiwan said calmly. "Different bacteria and minerals. Our bodies don't handle it well, see?" Velthor looked at Rix triumphantly. "Weak digestive systems. We just evolved differently," Daiwan said with a shrug. "Every species has strengths and weaknesses." "Indeed," Velthor said. His compound eyes gleamed with something that looked like mischief.
"Speaking of which, have you ever tried real galactic beverages?"
"Not the watered-down things they serve humans in safe zones." "I've had a few," Daiwan said carefully. He could tell where this was going. Velthor reached into a container beside him and pulled out a small bottle. The liquid inside was bright red and seemed to glow slightly. "This is Vraxian flame extract. It is a delicacy on my home world. Very expensive, very rare, and very potent." "Potent how?" Daiwan asked. "It contains concentrated capsaicinoids at levels that would be considered weapons grade by most civilized standards," Rix explained. His voice carried a tone of warning, but his eyes showed amusement. "It can cause severe pain in most species. Some have died from drinking it. It is perfectly safe for Chitara like me," Velthor added. "But for a human? It would probably put you in the medical bay for days, maybe weeks." He paused, then smiled in a way that showed all his mandibles. "I would offer you some, but I would not want to be responsible for sending you to the hospital." Other aliens at nearby tables had started watching. Word was spreading that something interesting might happen. Daiwan looked at the bottle. He had a pretty good idea what this was about. These 2 wanted to embarrass him. They wanted to watch him refuse the drink and prove that humans were weak. Or worse, they wanted him to try it and suffer. What they did not know was that Daiwan had grown up eating some of the spiciest food on Earth. His grandmother had made kimchi so hot that his friends refused to eat it. His mother's jjigae could make grown men cry. He had once entered a spicy food challenge back on Earth and eaten 30 ghost peppers without breaking a sweat. "I'll try some," Daiwan said simply. Velthor's mandibles clicked with surprise. You will? Are you certain? I must warn you, this is not a joke. This substance has hospitalized many beings. I'm sure, Day One said. Pour me some. The cantina had gone quiet now. Everyone was watching. Velthor slowly poured a small amount of the red liquid into a glass. Even from across the table, Day One could smell it. Sharp, chemical, spicy. Yes, definitely spicy. Velthor slid the glass across the table. On your head be it, human. Day One picked up the glass and examined it. The liquid was thicker than water, more like syrup. It had an oily quality to it. He could feel heat radiating from it. He raised the glass to his lips and drank it all in one swallow. The first sensation was intense heat. It spread across his tongue and down his throat like fire. His eyes watered slightly. His nose started to run. But he had felt worse. Much worse. That time he ate his uncle's special gochugaru blend had been way more intense than this. Day One set the glass down and wiped his mouth. The entire cantina was staring at him in complete silence. Well? Velthor asked, leaning forward. He seemed almost concerned. How do you feel? Should I call for medical assistance? Day One considered the taste. It was hot, yes. But it had an interesting flavor profile. Fruity notes. Maybe a hint of something like black pepper. The heat was building in his chest now, but it was manageable. Actually, it was kind of pleasant. It's pretty good, Day One said. Tastes like weak gochugaru, though. Do you have anything stronger? The glass Velthor was holding fell from his claw and shattered on the floor. Someone in the back of the cantina gasped. Rix made a choking sound. You want something stronger? Velthor whispered. Yeah, Day One said, reaching for the bottle. Mind if I have some more of this while you look? It's really not that bad once you get past the initial burn. He poured himself another glass and drank it like it was water. The cantina erupted in chaos. Aliens were shouting in a dozen languages. Some were recording everything on their devices. Others were placing bets. A few looked terrified. Day One just sat there enjoying his drink, wondering what all the fuss was about. By the next morning, everyone on Helio 7 knew about the human who drank Vraxian flame extract like it was nothing. The video had spread across the galactic network. Day One woke up to find dozens of messages on his communication device. News agencies wanted interviews. Scientists wanted to study him. Some aliens were even offering him money just to drink things on camera. He ignored most of them and went to get breakfast. The station's cafeteria was more crowded than usual. As Day One walked in, conversation stopped. Aliens turned to stare at him. Some whispered to each other. Others pointed. A few actually backed away like he might be dangerous. Day One grabbed a tray and got in line. The food server, a small furry alien with big eyes, looked nervous. Is it true? The alien squeaked. Did you really drink poison and survive? It wasn't poison, Day One said. Just spicy liquid. Can I get some of those protein bars and fruit? Spicy, the alien repeated, shaking his head. Humans are crazy. Day One found a quiet table in the corner and started eating. He had just taken his first bite when someone sat down across from him. It was a human woman with short black hair and intelligent eyes. She wore the uniform of the station's science division. Bora, she said, extending her hand. I'm a xenobiologist here. Mind if I join you? Day One, he replied, shaking her hand. Go ahead. So you're the famous Toxin drinker, Bora said with a slight smile. The whole station is talking about you. Half of them think you're incredibly brave. The other half think you're incredibly stupid. What do you think? I think you're lucky, she said seriously. Vraxian flame extract is no joke. It has killed people from at least 15 different species. The fact that you suffered no ill effects is remarkable. It was just spicy, Day One said with a shrug. I've had worse at home. Bora leaned forward. That's what I wanted to talk to you about. Human tolerance for capsicanoids is actually quite unique in the galaxy. Most species experience extreme pain and tissue damage from the compounds that make food spicy, but humans evolved to enjoy it. We actually seek it out. Okay, Day One said, not sure where this was going. The problem is that Velthor doesn't believe it was real, Bora continued. He's been telling everyone that the bottle must have been diluted, that there's no way a human could drink pure Vraxian flame extract. He's claiming you cheated somehow. Day One frowned. That's ridiculous. There were dozens of witnesses. I know, but Velthor is a proud creature. You made him look foolish in front of everyone. And now he wants revenge. Before Daewon could respond, the cafeteria's main screen flickered to life. Velthor's face appeared, filling the display. He looked angry. "Attention all residents and visitors of Helios 7, Velthor announced. "Yesterday, a human named Daewon claimed to drink Vraxian flame extract without harm. Many of you saw the video. However, I believe this was a deception. The substance must have been tampered with." Murmurs spread through the cafeteria. "Therefore, I am issuing a formal challenge," Velthor continued. "A toxin trial. The human and I will each consume a series of substances, increasing in danger and potency. We will see who can withstand more. The trial will take place in 3 days at the central arena. I am wagering my trading license. The human will wager his ship." The screen went dark. The cafeteria exploded with noise. Everyone was talking at once. Daewon just sat there staring at his half-eaten breakfast. "You don't have to accept," Bora said quickly. "A toxin trial is serious. People have died in them. It's legal here because Helios 7 has loose regulations, but that doesn't mean it's safe." "He wants my ship," Daewon said quietly. That ship was everything. It was his home, his job, his freedom. Without it, he would be stranded. "He's counting on you refusing," Bora explained. "That way he can claim you're afraid. It will restore his reputation." Daewon thought about it. He could refuse, walk away, keep his ship and his life. But something about Velthor's smug face bothered him. The way the alien assumed humans were weak. The way he tried to poison Daewon as a joke. "Where do I sign up?" Daewon asked. Bora's eyes widened. "Are you serious? This isn't just about drinking one spicy beverage. They'll throw everything at you. Acids, bases, neurotoxins, biological agents, things that could actually kill you." "I'm serious," Daewon said. He bet his trading license. "That thing is worth more than my ship."
"If I win, I could sell it and retire early." "If you win," Bora repeated.
That's a big if. Over the next hour, Daewon learned more about toxin trials than he ever wanted to know. Bora took him to meet Jinsu, the station's security chief. Jinsu was a tall human man with gray hair and tired eyes. "You know this is a bad idea, right?" Jinsu said, looking at the challenge documents. "I've seen 3 toxin trials in my time here. 1 person died, 2 others were never the same after." "I understand the risks," Daewon said. Jinsu sighed. "Fine, but you'll need to pass a medical examination first. Can't have you dying in my arena. Bad for business." The medical bay was clean and cold. A human doctor named Hyojin examined Daewon for 2 hours. She took blood samples, ran scans, and asked hundreds of questions about his medical history. "Your liver function is remarkable," Hyojin said, studying her screen. "Above average enzyme production. Your body processes toxins faster than most humans I've seen. Have you been exposed to a lot of chemicals or medications?" "I was in the military," Daewon explained. "They gave us bioaugmentations. Nothing major, just stuff to help us survive in different environments. Enhanced immune system, better healing, that kind of thing." "That explains some of it," Hyojin said. "But even with augmentations, this trial will be dangerous. Some of the substances they use don't care how good your liver is. They'll attack your nervous system, your brain, your heart. Are you absolutely sure about this?" "I'm sure," Daewon said. Hyojin made a note on her chart. "Then I'm clearing you for the trial. But I'm also assigning you a personal medical team. If anything goes wrong, they'll be standing by to intervene." Word of the accepted challenge spread even faster than the original video. By evening, the entire galaxy seemed to know about it. Daewon's communication device wouldn't stop buzzing. Messages came from Earth, from other human colonies, from alien worlds he had never heard of. Most humans were supportive. They sent encouragement and advice. Some shared their own stories of eating spicy food. Others sent recipes and recommended trying different Earth cuisines to train his tolerance. But some messages were worried. His sister Myung-hee called him from Earth, her face full of concern on the video screen. "Are you out of your mind?" she demanded. "Mom and Dad are freaking out. This alien could kill you." "I'll be fine," Daewon assured her. "I know what I'm doing." "You know what you're doing," Myung-hee repeated flatly. "Daewon, you're a cargo pilot, not a professional toxin tester. This isn't one of your spicy food challenges back home. This is serious." "I know it's serious," he said, "but I can't back down now. The whole galaxy is watching." His sister was quiet for a moment. Then she sighed. "You're just like Grandma. Stubborn as a rock, fine. But promise me you'll be careful. And if it gets too dangerous, you'll quit. Deal?" "Deal," Daewon said. After the call ended, he sat in his ship thinking. 3 days until the trial. 3 days to prepare. He had no idea what they would make him drink. But he knew one thing for certain. He wasn't going to lose. The arena was completely packed. Thousands of aliens filled the seats, creating a noise that sounded like every language in the galaxy, screaming at once. Day One stood in the center of the floor, trying not to think about how many eyes were watching him. The arena's ceiling was transparent, showing the stars beyond. It would have been beautiful if he wasn't so nervous. Across from him stood Velthor, looking confident and dangerous. The insectoid alien's armor gleamed under the bright lights. His mandibles clicked together in what might have been a smile. Between them was a long table covered with containers. Each one held a different substance. Some glowed. Some bubbled. One appeared to be screaming, though that might have been Day One's imagination. A floating ball of light drifted down from above. It pulsed with colors and spoke in a voice that sounded like music. This was Quarren, the judge for today's trial. "Welcome, beings of all species, to this Toxin trial," Quarren announced. The voice echoed through the arena. "Today, Velthor of the Chitara challenges Day One of Earth. Each contestant will consume substances of increasing danger. The first to refuse or become incapacitated loses. Are both parties ready?" "Ready?" Velthor said immediately. Day One took a deep breath. In the front row, he could see Bo-Ra and Hyojin. The doctor had her medical equipment ready. Bo-Ra gave him an encouraging nod. Behind them sat Nari, a human chemical engineer who had volunteered to help analyze each substance. She had spent the last 3 days teaching Day One everything she could about alien toxins. "Ready," Day One said. "Then let us begin with round 1, Quarren declared. "Zeltharian acid concentrate." A mechanical arm extended from the table, holding 2 glasses of clear liquid. It placed one in front of each contestant. The crowd went silent. "This substance has a pH level of 1.2, Quarren explained. "It is capable of dissolving most organic materials. Both contestants will drink simultaneously." Day One looked at the glass. The liquid inside was clear like water, but he could see tiny bubbles rising to the surface. He remembered what Nari had told him. Human stomach acid is already very acidic. Your body knows how to handle low pH. Just drink it quickly and don't let it sit in your mouth. "On my count," Quarren said. 3, 2, 1, drink." Day One grabbed the glass and poured it down his throat as fast as possible. The acid burned immediately. His throat felt like it was on fire. His eyes watered. But he forced himself to swallow it all. Across from him, Velthor finished his glass without any visible reaction. The alien's biology was clearly built for this. "Both contestants have completed round 1, Quarren announced. "We proceed to round 2, frozen methane crystals from Titan 9. This time, the mechanical arm brought out 2 small bowls filled with what looked like ice. Except the ice was releasing a white vapor that flowed over the sides of the bowls like water. "These crystals are kept at negative 170 degrees, Quarren said. "Contact with most biological tissues causes immediate freezing and cell death. Contestants must consume all crystals in their bowl." Day One stared at the bowl. This was going to hurt. But he remembered his military training. Cold exposure. He had done that before. He could do this. He picked up a crystal. It was so cold it felt hot. He popped it into his mouth. The pain was instant and intense. His whole mouth went numb. He could feel his teeth aching from the temperature. But he kept chewing, kept swallowing, one crystal after another. Each one was agony. But each one was also manageable. Velthor was eating his crystals too, though he seemed to be having an easier time. The alien's biology must have better temperature resistance. Day One finished his last crystal and gasped. His breath came out as a cloud of white vapor. His tongue felt like a frozen block. But he had done it. "Both contestants have completed round 2, Quarren said. "Impressive. We now move to round 3. This is where the trial becomes truly dangerous. The next substance is a biological neurotoxin from the Vix swamps," the crowd murmured nervously. Even Velthor looked slightly concerned. 2 new glasses appeared. The liquid inside was dark green and moved like it was alive. Small tendrils swirled through it. "This toxin attacks the nervous system," Quarren explained. "It causes paralysis in most species within minutes. Some victims report feeling their organs shut down while remaining conscious. It is not a pleasant death." Day One felt his heart racing. This was different from acid or cold. This could actually kill him. He looked at Hyojin in the front row. The doctor's face was tense, but she nodded slightly. She had explained this one. His military bio-augmentations included enhanced neural pathways and redundant nervous system protection. It might be enough, drink, Quarren commanded. Daewon drank. The toxin tasted like dirt mixed with something metallic. As it went down his throat, he felt a tingling sensation spread through his body. His fingers started to go numb. His vision blurred slightly. For a moment, panic gripped him. This was it. He was going to die in front of thousands of aliens. But then his augmentations kicked in. He could feel them working. Something deep inside his body fighting back against the toxin. The numbness started to fade. His vision cleared. His heart rate stabilized. Across from him, Velthor had also finished drinking. The alien showed no effects at all. Both contestants remained standing, Quarren said, sounding surprised. The human's resilience is remarkable. We continue to round 4. Fermented kalo root. The next substance looked harmless. It was brown and thick like soup. But Daewon knew better. Nari had warned him about this one. Kalo root fermentation produces hydrogen sulfide in most digestive systems. Deadly gas forming inside your stomach. But humans had something most species didn't. Humans could eat fermented food. Humans had been eating fermented food for thousands of years. Kimchi, sauerkraut, yogurt, cheese. Human digestive systems were built to handle fermentation. Daewon picked up his bowl and drank. The taste was awful. Sour and rotten and wrong. But as it hit his stomach, he felt nothing unusual. No gas buildup, no pain. His body processed it like it was just another meal. Velthor drank his portion too. For the first time, the alien looked slightly uncomfortable. His mandibles twitched and one of his arms trembled for a moment. The crowd was going crazy now. Bets were being placed. Aliens were shouting in excitement. This was closer than anyone had expected. Round 5, Quarren announced. We are now entering substances that are considered weapons of mass destruction on some worlds. The next item is Burning Spice of Kaldar 7. A small bowl appeared in front of each contestant. It contained a red powder that seemed to glow with its own light. This spice is rated at 15 million Scoville units, Quarren explained. For reference, the hottest pepper found on Earth is approximately 2 million Scoville units. This substance is 7 times more intense. Contestants must consume 1 full spoonful. Daewon almost laughed. After everything else, they were going back to spicy food? This was where he had the advantage. This was what he had trained for his whole life. He picked up the spoon and filled it with the red powder. Then he dumped the whole thing in his mouth. The heat was immediate and overwhelming. It was like swallowing the sun. His entire face felt like it was on fire. Sweat poured down his forehead. His nose ran like a waterfall. But underneath the pain was something else. Flavor. Complex, fruity, almost sweet notes. This was actually good. He swallowed and reached for his water glass. He took a small sip just to wash it down. Then he looked up at Quarren. That's pretty good, Daewon said, his voice slightly hoarse. The fermentation notes are interesting. Reminds me of gochujang my grandmother used to make. Though hers was definitely hotter. The arena fell completely silent. Velthor, who had just finished his own spoonful, was shaking. The alien's whole body trembled. Green liquid dripped from his mandibles. Impossible, Velthor whispered. How are you still standing? Quarren called for a break after round 5. Medical teams rushed onto the arena floor to check both contestants. Daewon sat on a metal bench while Hyojin scanned him with various devices. His mouth still burned from the spice, but otherwise he felt okay. Tired, but okay. Velthor was being examined by his own medical team across the arena. The insectoid alien was clearly struggling. His movements were jerky and uncoordinated. Whatever confidence he had started with was gone. A tall figure approached Daewon. It was another human, a man with glasses and a serious expression. He wore the insignia of the Xenoanthropology Corps. I'm Tai Yang, the man said. I just arrived from the research station on Kepler 442. I've been studying the evolution of species throughout the galaxy. Your performance today is fascinating. Thanks, I guess, Daewon said, still catching his breath. I need to get scans from you after this is over, Tai Yang continued. What you're doing shouldn't be possible according to standard biological models. Most species that can tolerate one type of toxin are weak to others, but you're handling everything they throw at you. Bora joined them, carrying a data pad. I've been analyzing the substances used so far, she said, and I think I understand what's happening. It's not just that humans are tough. It's that humans evolved in a very specific way that happens to give us advantages against all these different toxins. Explain, Tai Yang said, pulling out his own device to take notes. Bora pulled up a chart on her datapad. Look at human evolutionary history. We started as scavengers. We ate meat that other predators had killed and left behind. That meant eating partially rotten food. Food with bacteria, food with parasites. Our digestive systems had to become incredibly strong just to survive. That explains the acid tolerance and the fermentation, Taeyang said thoughtfully. But what about the other substances? That's where it gets interesting, Bora continued. Humans are also one of the few species that evolved to eat poisonous plants intentionally. We learned to process toxins and even enjoy them. Capsaicin from peppers, piperine from black pepper, allyl isothiocyanate from mustard and wasabi. These are all defense chemicals that plants made to stop animals from eating them. But humans said no thanks and ate them anyway. A new voice joined the conversation. Don't forget alcohol. It was Sunmi, a human bartender from one of the station's entertainment districts. She was carrying a small case. I heard what was happening and thought I should bring some samples from Earth, to show these aliens what humans drink for fun. She opened the case. Inside were bottles of various liquids. Daewon recognized most of them. Soju, whiskey, vodka, and several others. Ethanol is a poison, Sunmi explained to the growing crowd of curious aliens. It kills cells. It damages organs, and humans drink it recreationally. Some of these bottles are 40% ethanol by volume. We drink them and call it a party. An avian alien who had been listening nearby made a choking sound. You poison yourselves for entertainment? We also drink coffee, Sunmi added, pulling out another bottle. Caffeine. It's an insecticide. Plants make it to kill bugs. We extract it and drink it every morning to wake up. And chocolate, Bora said. Theobromine. Deadly to many Earth animals. Humans eat it as candy. More aliens had gathered now, listening in shock as the humans listed all the toxic substances they consumed regularly. Tai Yang was writing frantically. This is incredible. Humans aren't just resistant to toxins. We actively seek them out. We've built our entire culture around consuming things that should kill us. A gaseous alien drifted closer. But why? Why would a species evolve this way? Survival, Taeyang said. Earth is a competitive planet. Lots of predators. Lots of other species fighting for the same resources. Early humans needed every advantage they could get. So we learned to eat things other animals couldn't. We learned to process poisons. We became the ultimate omnivores. It gave us access to more food sources, Bora added. While other animals were limited to specific plants or prey, humans could eat almost anything. Rotten meat? Find poisonous plants? Just cook them first. Fermented foods? Even better, they last longer. Daewon listened to all this with growing understanding. He had never thought about it this way. He just ate spicy food because it tasted good. But apparently his entire species was biologically weird. A new figure pushed through the crowd. It was an alien Daewon hadn't seen before. Large, reptilian with scales that shimmered in the light. The alien wore the robes of a high-ranking scientist. I am Thexra, the alien said in a deep voice. I have been studying this trial with great interest. The human's performance is beyond what our models predicted. I have a question for the medical doctor. Hyojin stepped forward. I'll answer if I can. The neurotoxin from round 3 should have killed him, Thexra said bluntly. Yet he recovered within seconds. How? Hyojin pulled up Daewon's medical records on her device. He has military-grade bio-augmentations. Enhanced immune response, redundant neural pathways, improved liver function. They're standard issue for Earth Defense Force personnel who might serve in hostile environments. So he is not a normal human? Thexra asked. The augmentations help, Hyojin admitted. But honestly, most humans could survive what he's been through. Maybe not as easily, but we're tougher than we look. Our baseline biology is just built different. Show me your data, Thexra demanded. For the next several minutes, Hyojin and Thexra discussed human biology in technical terms that went over Daewon's head. They talked about enzyme systems and cellular structures and metabolic pathways. Other scientists joined the conversation, adding their own observations. Meanwhile, across the arena, Velthor was arguing with his medical team. Daewon could hear raised voices but couldn't make out the words. The insectoid alien looked angry and desperate. Quarren's voice suddenly echoed through the arena. The break is over. All contestants return to their positions. We will now proceed to the final rounds. Daewon stood up. His body ached. His mouth still burned. His stomach felt like he had swallowed rocks. But he could continue. He walked back to the center of the arena. Velthor was already there, but the alien looked terrible. His armor had lost its shine. His movements were slow and careful. For round 6 we have something special, Quarren announced. This substance was provided by Velthor himself. He claims it is the most dangerous toxin in his collection. A new container appeared on the table. It was made of thick metal with warning symbols covering every surface. Inside was a black liquid that seemed to absorb light. This is void extract, Quarren explained. It is harvested from organisms that live in the vacuum of space. It contains compounds that should not exist in normal matter. Contact with living tissue causes immediate cellular breakdown. There is no known antidote. The crowd went silent. Even the other aliens looked scared. Hyojin stood up in the front row. Wait, that substance hasn't been tested on humans. We don't know what it will do. That's the point, Velthor said. His voice was weak but determined. The human thinks he can drink anything. Let's see him drink this. Jinsu, the security chief, stepped onto the arena floor. I need to verify this substance is legal to use. He scanned the container with a device. After a moment, he nodded reluctantly. It's legal. Barely. But I'm putting a medical team on standby with emergency extraction equipment. Daewon looked at the black liquid. For the first time since the trial started, he felt real fear. Daewon stared at the container of void extract. The black liquid inside seemed to move on its own, swirling in patterns that hurt to look at. Around him, the arena had gone completely silent. Even the background noise of the station's life support system seemed to fade away. He was about to reach for the container when a loud voice cut through the silence. Stop this trial immediately. Everyone turned. A man in a military uniform was striding across the arena floor. He wore the insignia of the Earth Defense Force. Behind him were 2 other officers and someone in a white lab coat. Station security tried to stop them, but Jinsu waved them through. I am Commander Yijun, the man announced. I'm here on behalf of Earth Defense Force Command. This trial must be stopped before anyone gets hurt. The trial is legal, Velthor protested weakly. We both agreed to the terms. The trial is legal, Yijun agreed. But it's also pointless. That substance you're about to use, the void extract, we know exactly what it is. He gestured to the person in the lab coat. She stepped forward and bowed slightly. I'm Dr. HFY, head of the toxicology division at Earth Medical Corps. That black liquid is not some unknown space toxin. It's a synthetic compound that was developed by human researchers 47 years ago. The crowd erupted in confusion. Velthor's mandibles clicked rapidly. That's impossible. This substance was discovered in the Void Nebula. No human has ever been there. The Void Nebula was discovered by Earth explorers 60 years ago. Dr. HFY explained calmly. She pulled out a data pad and projected information onto the arena's main screen. We sent research teams there. They found interesting organic compounds in the space-dwelling creatures. We brought samples back and studied them. Then we tried to synthesize similar compounds for potential medical and military applications. This specific compound, which you call void extract, was designated Project Compound X7, she continued. It was supposed to be a chemical weapon, something that could break down biological materials quickly and efficiently. So it is deadly, Velthor said triumphantly. The human cannot drink it, Dr. HFY smiled slightly. Actually, that's the funny part. Compound X7 was a complete failure as a weapon. It turned out to be far too weak. When we tested it on human subjects, it caused mild nausea and an unpleasant taste. That's all. We couldn't even get it to cause serious harm in concentrated doses. What? Velthor whispered. The compound breaks down almost immediately when exposed to human stomach acid, Dr. HFY explained. The pH level in human digestive systems neutralizes it before it can cause any damage. We eventually repurposed Compound X7 as an industrial degreaser. It's quite good at breaking down certain types of plastic. The arena exploded with noise. Aliens were shouting questions. Others were laughing. Some looked horrified. Velthor just stood there, his whole body shaking. Commander Yijun raised his hand for silence. This brings us to an important point. The Galactic Council has been underestimating humanity for a long time. You see us as weak because we need controlled environments. Because we can't breathe most atmospheres, because our bodies seem fragile. He walked to the center of the arena, his voice carrying to every corner. But what many of you don't understand is that Earth is a death world. Our planet is covered in toxic plants, venomous animals, deadly bacteria, and extreme environments. Humans didn't just survive Earth. We conquered it. We learned to eat things that would kill other species. We learned to thrive in conditions that would hospitalize most aliens. Taeyang stepped forward, his datapad in hand. I've been compiling information about Earth species for comparison. Did you know that there are Earth plants that produce cyanide? Humans eat them. There are Earth fungi that cause organ failure. Humans eat those too after careful preparation. There are Earth fish that contain tetrodotoxin, one of the deadliest poisons known. Humans consider them a delicacy. Humans drink ethanol, which is a cellular poison, Bora added. We consume caffeine, a natural pesticide. We eat capsaicin, which evolved specifically to stop mammals from eating peppers. We season our food with substances that are toxic to most Earth animals, like onions and garlic. Sunmi held up her case of bottles. We don't just tolerate these things. We seek them out. We build entire industries around them. We have competitions to see who can consume the most poison. We enjoy the sensation of our bodies fighting against toxins. Nari pulled up charts on the main screen. I've been analyzing every substance used in this trial. The acid, human stomach acid, is already almost that strong. The cold? Humans regularly survive extreme cold exposure. The neurotoxin? Human neural systems have redundancies that most species lack. The fermented material? Humans invented fermentation thousands of years ago. The spice? Humans are one of the only species in the known galaxy that willingly consumes capsaicinoids. A reporter in the crowd, a human man named Sang Wu, stood up with his camera. So what you're saying is that this entire trial was meaningless? That humans can naturally handle all of these toxins? Not meaningless, Commander Yi Jun said. It's been very educational. For decades, the Galactic Council has treated humans as a minor species. Weak, unimportant. This trial has shown that we're far more resilient than anyone realized. Thexera, the reptilian scientist, stepped forward. This changes everything. If humans can tolerate substances that are deadly to other species, then human biology could be the key to developing new medicines, new treatments. Substances that would kill my people might be harmless to humans, who could then process them into useful compounds. Exactly, Dr. Jaehua said. We're already in talks with several species about potential trade agreements. Human liver enzymes could be invaluable for pharmaceutical research. Our digestive bacteria could help other species process foods they currently cannot eat. Our tolerance for extreme conditions could make us ideal for hazardous environment work. Velthor finally found his voice. This is not fair. You humans have been hiding your capabilities. You let us think you were weak. We didn't hide anything, Day One said, speaking up for the first time in a while. We just never thought it was worth mentioning. To us, this is all normal. We eat spicy food because it tastes good. We drink alcohol because it's fun. We don't think of it as consuming toxins. It's just what we do. He looked at the container of void extract, then back at Velthor. You tried to poison me as a joke. Then you challenged me to this trial thinking you would win easily. But you never bothered to learn anything about humans. You just assumed we were weak because we're different from you. Quarren floated down between them. Given this new information, I must ask, does the trial continue? Or does Velthor wish to concede? Velthor looked at the black liquid. Then he looked at Day One. Finally, he lowered his head. I concede. I cannot win. The human has proven his species' superiority in this matter. Not superiority, Day One corrected. Just difference. Your species has advantages we don't have. You can survive in atmospheres that would kill us. You can see wavelengths of light we can't perceive. Every species has strengths and weaknesses. The crowd applauded. It started slow but built into a roar. Aliens from dozens of species were cheering, though Daiwan wasn't sure if they were cheering for him or just excited about the drama. Over the next few hours, things got very busy. Day One had to sign documents transferring Velthor's trading license to him. Then he had to give interviews to about 30 different news organizations. Then scientists wanted to run more tests. Then trading companies wanted to discuss business opportunities. By the time night fell on Helios 7, Day One was exhausted. He made his way back to his ship, looking forward to sleep. But Bora was waiting for him at the docking bay. Congratulations, she said with a smile. You're famous now. The whole galaxy is talking about the human who drinks poison. I'm not sure that's a good thing, Daewon said. It's a very good thing, Bora assured him. You've changed how the galaxy sees humanity. We're not the weak species anymore. We're the tough ones, the survivors, the ones who can eat anything. I just wanted to fly cargo and eat spicy food, Daewon said with a laugh. 6 months later, Daewon sold Velthor's trading license for enough money to retire comfortably, but he didn't retire. Instead, he started a small business with Bora and Nari. They opened a restaurant on Helio 7 called the Toxin Bar. It served Earth food to curious aliens who wanted to experience what humans considered normal. The food was a huge hit. Aliens came from across the galaxy to try coffee, chocolate, alcohol, and spicy dishes. Most of them could only handle tiny amounts. Some needed medical attention after eating mild salsa, but they kept coming back, fascinated by these substances that humans consumed casually. Daewon also started working part-time as a tolerance tester for pharmaceutical companies. They would give him experimental compounds to try, and he would report on the effects. It paid well and was surprisingly enjoyable. One evening, Bora came to the restaurant with news. You're never going to believe this. The Galactic Medical Council wants to establish a human toxicology institute. They want to study human biology and develop new treatments based on our unique tolerances. That's great, Daewon said. He was preparing kimchi in the kitchen, the smell of fermentation filling the air. They want you to be on the advisory board, Bora added. Daewon laughed. Me? I'm just a guy who likes spicy food. You're the guy who changed galactic history by drinking poison and asking for more, Bora reminded him. That makes you qualified. As closing time approached, a group of aliens came in for dinner. They looked nervous but excited. Daewon brought them menus featuring different levels of spice from Earth Child to Human Adult to Daewon Special. One of the aliens, a small, furry creature, pointed at the spiciest option. I will try the Daewon Special. Are you sure? Daewon asked. It's very hot. I am sure, the alien said bravely. If humans can eat it, then I can at least try. Daewon smiled and went to prepare the food. As he worked, he thought about how much had changed. 6 months ago, aliens thought humans were weak. Now they were trying to be as tough as humans. It was funny how things worked out. The door opened again and Myung-hee walked in. His sister had moved to Helio 7 to help run the restaurant. Did you hear? She asked. Earth is exporting gochujang to 15 different star systems now. They can't get enough of it. Grandma would be proud, Daewon said. She would, Myung-hee agreed. Her recipe is literally spreading across the galaxy. As Daewon served the spicy food to his customers and watched them struggle through each bite with determination, he realized something. Humans weren't special because they were strong or smart or advanced. Humans were special because they were stubborn. They ate things that tried to kill them. They thrived in impossible conditions. They never gave up. And sometimes that was enough to change the galaxy,